Mark Dugan from Arizona Public Media recently interviewed Rosemont President Rod Pace. Mr. Pace was questioned about concerns with traffic on Arizona Scenic Route 83. His response is that the entrance to the mine is before the curvy sections of Highway 83. Listen to the interview as you watch our trip north from the proposed mine entrance. Would you call this curvy?
I'm Mark Dugan, Arizona Public Media, and this is Copper at the Crossroads, a multi-part series on the past, present, and future of Arizona's copper industry. This week, we'll hear from both sides in the effort to increase copper production in the state and take a particularly close look at the proposed Rosemont mine south of Tucson. Rod Pace is president and CEO of Rosemont Copper. He joined us in the studio recently to talk about some of the issues surrounding his company's proposal to build and operate a 20-year open-pit copper mine in the mountains south of Tucson. Some area residents have expressed concern about the increase in truck traffic along Highway 83 between Interstate 10 and the mine entrance road. And that highway, as it approaches the mine entrance, is pretty twisty and windy with some pretty short sightlines. How do you address their concerns?
Well, if you've driven down from I-10 down 83 towards Sonoita, our mine access road would actually be before you start getting those windy roads. So that helps somewhat, but there will be some impact. And we've been looking at our traffic surveys, how we can mitigate those impacts. And we can do a lot by scheduling. We're going to run 2 12-hour shifts, so we only have people come in twice a day. They come in off-peak hours, and we can also schedule the truck traffic coming into the mine so we miss the off-peak hours and school hours. So we can, by the way we schedule things, we can really help mitigate some of those impacts by traffic. Plus, the traffic study we've done showed that we need to put some pull-out lanes on some of the hills where the trucks can pull over and let the cars pass, because one of the issues you do have in Highway 83 is very narrow, so looking at possibly some pull-out lanes and also some school bus stops and some of those things that we can do that would really help.
At a meeting held in Quail Creek, Rod Pace, president of Rosemont Mine, was asked questions about Highway 83 and the mine's impact on traffic. The following is what he had to say.
Have you planned on the number of trucks that will be traveling on Route 83? And if you have planned, can you tell me how many there will be? And the second part of my question is the road improvement. Who will be paying for that road improvement? Is it the state of Arizona or is it the Rosemont Mine?
Good question. Number one, the number of trucks traveling that road. We have our concentrate trucks. We'll have 40 trucks coming and 40 trucks going. So about 80 truckloads a day will haul concentrate. There'll be other supplies coming in too, like fuel and other things. So you're looking at probably, if you look at both ways, you're probably looking at around, I would say, 100 trucks a day coming through that area. And as far as the next question you asked, who's going to pay for it? Right now, we're working with the Forest Service. They're looking at the road, what's going to happen to the road. We're going to probably certainly pay for some of the things we do, like the pull-out lanes and things. Who pays the road as far as widening and some of the other things, that's yet to be determined. We'll have to work with the Arizona Department of Highway to make those determinations. I can't tell you who's going to pay for all now, but we'll certainly pay for some of them.
Why does Rosemont fail to see what is so obvious to everyone else? Rosemont Copper plans to use SR-83 for their primary access to their mine site if the mine plan of operation is approved by the Forest Service. Several reports have been prepared concerning SR-83. They cover a variety of subjects such as scenic corridor management, roadway assessment, and impact mine traffic will have on travelers. The first report I'd like to discuss is the Corridor Management Report for the Patagonia-Sonoita Scenic Route, prepared for the Arizona Department of Transportation in 2003. The report raises several safety issues. From milepost 43 to milepost 50, 83 is particularly dangerous since there is no room for vehicles to pull over and allow wide loads to pass. During heavy rains, rock falls are common and need to be cleaned up. Curved sections of the road with limited sight distances, combined with pedestrians, bicyclists, and speeding drivers, create dangerous situations. And lack of shoulders along most of SR-83 and no pull-off areas are a safety concern for tourists who want to enjoy the scenic views. Chapter 5 of the report established several goals. Goal 4 was to improve safety along the corridor without sacrificing intrinsic value. One objective to meet Goal 4 was to reduce oversized loads and truck traffic. Let's talk about the roadway and what makes it dangerous. In a report created by Tetra Tech for Rosemont, several substandard roadway elements are discussed. Tight reverse horizontal curves. There are two sections north of the mine access, one at mile marker 47 and one at mile marker 49, which is the intersection with Hilton Ranch Road. There is also another section south of the mine access at mile marker 44. Lack of shoulders is another major problem. Very few shoulders exist along SR 83, and few are the required 6-foot width. This leaves no room for error and nowhere to pull over in case of breakdowns. The guardrails are too close to the roadway and are outdated. Many sections of 83 have insufficient sight distance, which leaves little room to stop or time to react. There are a number of driveways and roadways entering 83, and many have very limited sight distance. Turning left onto Hilton Ranch Road is especially treacherous. There are no school bus pull-offs along 83. There are no passing lanes, nor anywhere for oversized loads or slower trucks to pull over and let traffic pass. Remarkably, the I-10 interchange was not even considered in the study. Over a 5-year period, this area has averaged 3 accidents per year and experienced 1 fatality. Since then, I know there has been at least 1 more fatality. Here are a couple of photos showing non-existent shoulders, substandard guardrails, and limited sight distance. Other hazards we face include wildlife crossing the roadway and cattle on the roadway. Heavy trucks and traffic over time create rutting in the road, and during heavy rains this causes rivers of water to flow down the steeper grades, which leads to hydroplaning. The situation is aggravated with the strong winds that accompany our frequent monsoon storms. During roadway construction and maintenance, only 1 lane is available for travel. Depending on the length of the section being maintained, waiting times can be from 5 minutes to as long as 20 minutes. Increased traffic will increase the likelihood of rear-end accidents as traffic backs up to curvy areas with limited sight distance. Cell service and emergency communications don't exist south of mile marker 50, so when there are accidents, it takes time to get help. Substandard guardrails present a problem of their own. From I-10 to mile marker 47, 34% of the distance is bordered on one side or the other with a guardrail. 20% of the distance has guardrails on both sides of the road. Remember, these guardrails are right on the edge of the road. There's no shoulder, no room to avoid obstacles, whether it's an 80,000-pound truck or a bicyclist. Many sections that are not bordered by guardrails are bordered by steep drop-offs or rock faces, again leaving no way to exit the roadway if needed. Steep grades and no passing lanes create dangerous passing situations. Trucks slow down on the steeper grades, cars try to pass and find out they can't accelerate fast enough. I've had people passing cars in my lane around blind curves, nearly forcing me off the road. Notice on the chart, from I-10 to mile marker 43, you are climbing around 1,700 feet. The average grade for this 16-mile stretch of road is 2%. There is almost always a positive grade. The grade reaches 3% or more in several sections of the road. Particularly steep grades over 6% exist just south of the proposed mine access at mile marker 46.5. I'm not sure that the MPO is clear on where they will ship their product. Is there anything preventing them from traveling south? The grades just north of the mine are fairly steep through some of the reverse horizontal curves I described earlier. For a 10-mile stretch from mile marker 53 to mile marker 43, only 8 passing zones exist. Many do not provide much passing distance. The longest passing zone is between mile marker 46 and 47, where Rosemont plans to access 83. This passing opportunity will no longer be a passing zone if Rosemont is allowed to access 83 at this location. Trucks traveling south to the mine site will experience several sections of the road where grades will slow them. Impatient drivers will try to pass and accidents will occur.